Okay, start.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to share with you the story of, maybe we should all say it together. Yeah.
Okay.
The
Nutcracker
and the Mouse King. Oh, yeah. What happened?
Once upon a time, in Nuremberg, Germany, Fritz and Marie were discussing the presents on Christmas Eve. Fritz naturally wanted soldiers, while Marie hoped for a new doll, and she wondered what Godfather Drosselmeyer would make for them. Fritz thought it would be a castle with soldiers, while Marie heard Godfather talk about a castle with swans. Although they had different guesses, both of them were looking forward to this evening. All at once a bell rang. Bling, bling.
Then the children were called into the living room, where there was a beautiful Christmas tree with lots of presents. The children found they got what they wanted. Fritz had received soldiers and Marie a new doll. And just as Marie had heard, Godfather Drosselmeyer, with his eye patch and glass wig, had made a castle with swans. Fritz, however, thought it was boring. Surprisingly, next to the castle, Marie discovered a nutcracker. Her father said, although he belonged to all, since she liked him so much, he was in Marie's special care. She cracked the nut with him gently, but Fritz put in big ones, and crack! Nutcracker's teeth broke. Marie's heart ached, and she wrapped her scarf around his jaw.
The sky grew darker and the children became sleepy. Mary said she wanted to stay out to take care of poor Nutcracker. Naturally, her mother didn't agree, but Mary sneaked down into the living room and told poor Nutcracker that Godfather Drosselmeyer's dad would fix him up soon. Nutcracker's face was black-lit by candlelight and seemed to show emotion and was for a fleeting moment. Mary rubbed her eyes, thinking she must have been wrong, and put him back on the shelf. Suddenly, Mary heard weird sound coming from the dark corners, and then hundreds of mice emerged out of nowhere, led by the Mouse King with his 7 army hat. Mary backed out and caught her aunt on the cabinet's glass. She thought she was doomed, but Nutcracker and all the toys came alive. They fought bravely against the mice, but the battle was almost lost. As the Mouse King approaching to capture Nutcracker and his army, Mary threw her shoes right at the Mouse King's head and fangs.
Number 4.
Connie. Okay. Connie is shorter.
Why did you stay up so late? Marie's mother scolded her. Because Nutcracker was alive. Believe it or not, there were hundreds of mice, and Nutcracker led the toys into battle against them. Marie's mother interrupted her. Nonsense. Marie tried to tell the whole amazing story, but her parents believed she maybe saw one little mouse and got scared. She must have had these imaginings because of a fever. All the toys were in a mess and scattered about, and broken glass lay on the floor. What was worse was that the doctor said Marie's arm was badly injured from the cut. One good thing happened, though. Godfather Drosselmeyer came over to tell the children a story.
Once upon a time, there was a fantasy kingdom. The king had a beautiful daughter, Curlypat. To celebrate, he asked the queen to make sausages. As she was cutting fat, the Mouse Queen, Mouserings, came out. "Good evening, lady. Would you mind give me some fat?" "Oh, I'm sorry. This cuisine is for Curlypat." "Oh, please, just a little." Fine, here you are, said the queen. The moment she agreed, Rings laughed and shouted, Hey everyone, let's eat! Suddenly, the whole mouse family showed up and snatched the fat as quickly as they could. That evening, the king found the sausages has too little fat, so he made a serious decision. The war against the mice begins.
Oh, six.
This is Joy.
Okay. All right. Now I have to be super short.
Oh,
It's okay. It's okay. Yeah, okay. The next day, the king summoned the court mechanic, who looked like a young Drosselmeyer. This fellow said, I've invented a wonderful machine that can catch mice. And it really worked. Because all the mice were killed, except Lady Moserings, the queen, and her 7-headed son. Moserings warned the queen, I will bite your dearest daughter, no matter how hard you try to prevent it. That night, the queen put some women holding cats into the bedroom, but unfortunately, they all fell asleep. Moserings came in easily and bit the princess. Oh, 7 is me. Yeah. 7 is me.
You're so busy.
Normal height. Okay. After this, the princess became ugly with a big head. The only thing she liked to eat was nuts. The king ordered the young Drosselmeyer to find a cure. He figured out that the princess must eat the kernel of the famous nut Krakatuk, which must be cracked by a young man who had never shaved his beard or worn boots. And then he must walk backwards 7 steps with his eyes closed. The king was happy, but Drosselmeyer said he didn't know where to find the nut or even the young man. He searched around the world and then visited his brother, who explained that he just happened to buy a very hard nut recently. And guess what? It turned out to be Krakatuk. Just then the brother's son came in. He had a small beard and was wearing slippers. Perfect! Drosselmeyer attached a lever to his jaw to make it even stronger and let the nephew try to crack Krakatuk before the king, who had promised the princess to the nephew if he was successful. And guess what? He was! Wonderful! Oh, but on the last step, 6, 7, Moserings jumped out and tripped the nephew. And he turned into a nutcracker.
Oh no.
Yeah. The princess rejected this ugly little fellow.
Marie saw the princess was selfish. That night, the Mouse King came to Marie and demanded her Christmas candy, or he would bite run, Nutcracker. In order to protect Nutcracker, she gave it to him. The next night, he came again and asked for her toys. Again, she handed them over. Finally, he visited her a 3rd time and demanded her special Christmas cookies. The time Marie couldn't endure it anymore. She complained to Nutcracker, who became warm in her arms and whispered, "Give me a sword." Then Marie asked Fritz for one.
That night, Marie heard a fight. It was Nutcracker and Mouse King having an intense battle. They chased each other and even climbed up the Christmas tree until Nutcracker managed to kill the Mouse King with his sword. Afterwards, Nutcracker took Marie to his candy and toy kingdom, where everything was made of colored sugar. Marie saw the huge gingerbread castle and swamps like Godfather Drosselmeyer's made. When Marie looked into the water, she believed that she saw the Princess Pat. Nutcracker said, however, that she was actually seeing her own beautiful reflection.
The next morning, Marie tried to tell her family about what happened, but her parents and Fritz told her to stop dreaming. Then she showed them the 7 crowns of the dead Mouse King, and they didn't know what to think. At that moment, godfather
Drosselmeyer.
Drosselmeyer came in and claimed that he gave Maureen the little cross on her second birthday. And Drosselmeyer's nephew came along with him. He was a charming young man. He asked to talk to Maureen in the living room. The Nutcracker on the south.
Nutcracker, sorry. Nutcracker.
Nutcracker on the south was gone. Then the nephew said, "You saved my life, Maureen. Would you marry me?" He vowed that he could wait for her to grow up. Years later, the nephew returned and took Maureen to his faraway kingdom. Her family didn't know what kingdom that was, but we do, don't we?
Yeah, and then the end. Yeah,
The
okay.
end.
Yeah, okay. Good, pretty good, yeah. So I think I really like a lot of the reading.